Welcome, friends, to Victory Lane with Christian Potts. Well, March Madness is here. Of course, in the college basketball realm, that means people are getting their brackets together, filling it out, deciding which teams are going to go anywhere as that sport gets down to the stretch drive. We've got time for other things, though, to talk about what's going on in the racing world in March. Certainly not the end of the season, but it is a key time of the year as we get into March and April and springtime begins. Teams off to a good start want to keep things going. Teams that are struggling a little bit maybe want to dot some I's, cross some T's, maybe make some major overhauls. The series was actually off this past weekend, giving teams a chance to look at some things. At the same time, it also gave some guys some time off.
And it'll do both. It'll give us a chance to catch up, get our lineup ready for the next, for all these spring races, get our lineup set and ready to go, and it'll give the guys a day or two off, to kind of recharge their battery.
Of course, some drivers spent their weekend working harder than others. Clint Boyer had other things on his mind than work.
Have fun and do whatever. That's what we don't ever get to do, is just whatever happens. That's the way you go. But just looking forward to kicking back, relaxing, hanging out with the dirt guys, and having some fun with them. Maybe go watch them somewhere.
About a half dozen teams did spend part of the week working at a tire test down at Darlington Speedway. Of course, tire testing is important. We remember what happened with the Goodyear tires last August at Indianapolis. Just did not hold up to the strain of the track and the conditions. NASCAR having to throw mandatory caution flags every 5 to 7 laps because the tires were just tearing up. So several of these sessions are held every year for Goodyear to just kind of check out, see what they have. Drivers get out on the track, give them their feedback. It's been very good for that regard. It's also good for some of these teams to get a few more laps out there. Bobby Labonte talked about how it helped his team getting some time out there this week.
Goodyear gives us a lot of data to start with, whether we were to come to this test or not, with a tire that they're going to bring back. All the manufacturers have a lot of information and share that, and all the teams obviously. So it wouldn't have been. It's just, for me, I enjoy it a little bit more, probably just for the fact that we haven't been together, that we didn't have the darn clock on our back the whole time trying to figure out how to go as fast as we can. Right away, we got an hour and a half, by the way. Instead of today, it's a little bit more relaxed.
Quick now. What did I do before I was a star making webcasts about racing? That's right, I actually worked in the newspaper business. Well, you know what? I still work in the newspaper business. I still write a great column that I hope everybody's been reading every week. If you haven't, well, guess what? Just scroll down a little bit on this page if you're here at normantranscript.com/victorylane, and you can see it. If you're on YouTube, Daily Motion, some other assorted place around the web, go to normantranscript.com/victorylane and you can read the column there too. Last week's effort, I talked about an old timers race coming up this weekend at Bristol. They're calling it the Saturday Night Special. About a dozen legends of the sport will be there. That's the great news. The bad news is my column is about the only place you're going to see anything about it, because for some reason this race is not going to be televised. We see practice sessions, we see truck races, we see nationwide series races, we see qualifying, we see all kinds of things on the air. Speed TV has all kinds of interesting things on there. But how do they not get this race on the air? Shame on NASCAR. Hopefully somebody will figure that out in the next few days, and we'll be able to give you an update saying this thing will be televised. Well, that's all we have this week. We'll be looking back at this Sunday's race at Bristol. Of course, that's always a fun place. Had our share of altercations there over the years. Be interesting to see what happens there this weekend. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next week in Victory Lane with Christian Potts.